welcome. And glad that everyone was able to come early to be able to have these conversations. That's what they're for. From 6:30 to 7. That's what we're here to talk about, all kind of everything, right? The good, the bad, the ugly, the in between, right? All the wonderful stories, all the learning, the growth, support, and all those different things. So thank you all, and look forward to next week at 6:30 already. So that's awesome. Thank you all. All right. So, okay. Hopefully everyone can see that. Well, I'm sure they can. All right. Everybody see that? Virtual reality. Okay. So who, has anybody ever put on those Oculus glasses, or, the virtual reality glasses, or, all this other stuff? Anybody ever tried those things?
The Oculus Quest, yes.
Yes, right? And the virtual reality and things like that, right? So when you put those glasses on, right, since you put them on, when you put them on, maybe especially the first time or the first couple of times, how was that?
Exhilarating.
Okay, why?
Because it felt very real, although it was not real. It felt super, it looked real, it felt real, it was believable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. And so it was exhilarating because of all of those things. And so if it were none of those things, would it have been exhilarating?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay. So let's just say, okay. So what is another form of virtual reality? Like before we got these glasses, there was another kind of form of virtual reality, right? That we've all been to several times in life. What's another form of virtual reality?
Living in your.
Say it again.
Sorry.
Living in your head.
Living in your what?
In your mind.
Head? Living in your mind. Okay. All right. What's a physical form of virtual reality we've been to?
Gavin suggested dreaming.
Dreaming. Okay. What's another?
Imagination.
Imagination. Okay. Yeah. What's a physical one? What's a physical one where
I'm thinking of those 3D glasses you used to go to the movies and you put on those
you have
glasses.
those. Okay. All right. So and
put in the chat vacation.
Okay, vacation. But
what about arcade?
Arcade. Somebody said, okay. So, and then someone said the 3D glasses when you were where?
At the movies.
At the movies.
At the movies.
Oh, right.
Movies. At the movies. It's not the only place. I said just another place, right? So there, just like the glasses, what happens? They take your big world, right, and make it a small world. They put it right up in your face, right? They block everything else out. And a movie that you knew was not real, that you knew the real actors' names and everything else, an hour into it, you're in a whole new reality. Am I right? So it's a virtual reality. It's something you know is not true before you put those glasses on, or you know it's not true before you walked in that movie theater. But a couple minutes in, just like she said, all the different things, it was thrilling, it was exciting, and all those different things. The movie is the same thing, correct? And why? And why is it so thrilling? There was one word, right? It's really because it seems, feels, looks, tastes, touches like it's real. It feels real. It doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is not real. No one's really, these actors, that's not so-and-so, that's Denzel. That's not so-and-so, that's Brad Pitt. That's not so-and-so, that's Viola Davis. For that, once we get into that movie long enough, we forget real quick. So people in there laughing, crying, shouting, screaming, hi, don't go in there. Girl, he's behind the door. right? Or like, man, you better run, right? Like everybody gets into it. It's virtual reality, right? So, and because it feels real, it's thrilling, it's compelling, our emotions are moved, everything is happening, right? Okay, so now my question to you becomes, what is your first virtual reality? What is the name of your virtual reality?
Your subconscious.
Okay. Who else?
Gavin's suggestion is your subconscious.
Okay.
No, your subconscious. I'm sorry. Your mentality.
Your mentality. Okay. Who else? What is the name of your virtual reality?
I am.
Okay. What else?
Are you saying it like in the aspect of like our perfect life view? Like what we envision our perfect version of our life to be? Is that what you're asking?
No, when you put those glasses on, right? Whatever you see is what you see. Does that make sense? Like whenever you go to the movies, whatever you see is what you see, right? So then, because you're looking at something, right? So what is the name? And I'm glad we're all asking questions and all answering, participating. Perfect, right? So then what is the name of your virtual reality?
Mine is zero.
There you go. Your
What'd
name
you
is the
say?
name of your name is the name of your virtual your name. What is your name? Whatever your name is, that is your virtual reality. That is your persona, your personhood, your persona, right? Which means character or mask. It's something that you have put on, just like you put on those glasses. Just like you're going to the movies, you're sitting down in the movie watching something. So the I of you, right? The I am of you is sitting in this body that has a name, a persona. So Ray, Marcus, Mona, Giovanni, Vero, whatever else it is, those are you. That is your persona. That is your virtual reality. That is what you have sat down in the seat of your body, looking through and out of. Those are the glasses you strap on your face, over your eyes, and you're looking through. Your persona, your character, the name of this thing, of this body you're in, right? Your name, the name that you've given this body, the mask that you have put on over your eyes. Whatever your name is, that is your virtual reality. That's what you have put on in front of you. And so now life, right, becomes all the things that she said a minute ago. Thrilling, exciting, real, right? It feels real. The movie felt real, right? When you put those glasses on, everything felt real. Well, doesn't life feel real?
Yeah.
Does anybody else think like this doesn't feel real?
Life is lighting.
Right? Does anybody else, like when you get a paper cut, does that not feel real?
Right.
Right? I mean, just a small paper cut, right? When you have young kids around and they didn't pick up their stuff and you stepped on that Lego, that didn't feel real. Right? When you were on the car or on the street and somebody tapped your car, right, with their car, a little bump, right? That didn't feel real. Right? Whether it's the reality, the emotion of thrill, of pain, agony, sorrow, defeat, disgust, despair, victory, prosperity, abundance, whether it's whatever else it is, right? It feels real. Because this is the first virtual reality that you have. This is where virtual reality, concept of virtual reality came from. Was people start realizing like, oh, okay, the body I'm in that I've named is not actually reality. It's what I'm using to experience reality. But I'm creating it through this body. So this life that I'm living is virtual reality. And I'm living it through this body. I'm living it through this name, this persona, this character, through this mask. I'm sitting down in the movie theater of my body looking at life. I've strapped on this mask, this name, and now I'm looking at everything on the other side of it as reality, but it's virtual. You are your first virtual reality. That's what life is. It's you creating it. It's you living through it. You're seeing and you're looking through yourself and you're saying, oh, wow, this feels real. This feels real. But that's why if we're all talking about the same life, we could be all at the same place, looking at the same thing, and people would describe it different. What did you see that person say? What did you hear that person say? What was that person wearing? Right? And people are staring at this person for 2 hours and you get 10 different answers from probably 11 to 12 people. Maybe 1 or 2 people will say the same thing, but pretty much everyone's going to say something a little different because the reality is virtual, because it means it's being experienced by you personally through your own perspectives, through your own biases, through your own fears, through your own assumptions, through your own beliefs. Your reality is being colored by your consciousness, by what you're aware of, how you perceive things is how you're taking things in. It's not necessarily it's not necessarily as they actually are. You're coloring them through the lens of your personality, through your perspective, through your all that stuff, right? You're coloring them through that, right? So that is why it's such an individual experience when you put those glasses on, when you're in the movie theater. So you love the movie and your girlfriend was like, it was all right. And you come out like, yeah, it wasn't that great. And they're like, girl, it wasn't that good, right? Or your boy's like, man, I mean, oh man, we laugh at, my dad, he gets on and he loves the 49ers. So he gets on there and he starts yelling at the screen like, if I was out there, I would have done this. And we all look at him like, man, you are the least athletic person in this house. Mom is faster than you. What are you actually going to be out here doing, man? You need to knock it off, right? So meaning like everybody is watching something and having through their own experience, even though we're all looking at the same thing, it's through our own experience, right? And so that is virtual reality. That is you experiencing the world outside of your persona called life. And it is being colored through your own persona, through your own character, mask, through all the things that make you you. And that's that's under the banner of your name. So your first virtual reality is the person you are, is the name you are, the body you have and the name you are. You are sitting in that body looking through it, just like you're looking at a movie screen. That mask, that person that you think you are is nothing but those Oculus goggles on your eyes. That is your first virtual reality. It's the first one. That is the one. Everything else is mirrored or mimicked after that, right? That's why they can put those glasses on and because essentially people start to figure out this is actually what's happening, right? So the reality that we see or the reality that we believe is colored through our own persona, through our own character or mask, through our own identity, through our role in the play. Right? That's why everybody describes the same thing 50 different ways. Because it's not that what they're looking at is absolutely real. It's just real to them this way. Right? That's what the first virtual reality is for all of us. Right? So kind of something to, get us warmed up, get us started, get us thinking a little bit, right? Stuff like that. Because that is why we're here. That's why you put the glasses on. That's why you go to the movies. Because the glasses and the movies are life. They're the thing that you came here to do. You put this on, you put this body on to be able to go to the movies, to sit and see the movie. You put these glasses on to have this experience. You put this character on, this mask on, this name on to have this experience. Called a movie, called virtual reality, called life. It's the same principle. It's the same thing. Right? So then you have to start thinking about, okay, well, what movie do you want to see? What type of experience do you want to have? Because if it's virtual, then you can say, okay, well, now that I'm in here, maybe I can do this. I can walk this way. I can go that way. Or there's, you go to a movie theater and there's 8 different screens and you can go see whatever movie you want to see. All the movies are available, almost like those parking spaces we looked at a couple weeks ago. They're all just possibilities. And you pick and choose based on your persona, your character, who you believe yourself to be, what's going to thrill you and move you and excite you, just like putting those glasses on. It was like going to the movies. Life is like putting the glasses on, like going to the movies. It's something you're using to have an experience. It's your virtual reality. That's what life is. It's your virtual reality. It's something that you're engaging in to have an experience. And all 3 of those, the movies, the glasses, and life, all thrill you, make you laugh, hide, cry, run, jump, because it literally gets to your point, to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the driver. That's where it's coming through your conscious mind. But once it hits your subconscious mind, you jump, move, run, you do everything because it believes it's real. It believes it's actually happening right now. And it doesn't separate reality from this is not real. No, it doesn't do that. Once it gets to your subconscious mind, it believes everything is real. Because it's here now, it's real, it's true. It's not a respecter of persons. It doesn't care what you are, where you are, how you are. If it gets down to your subconscious mind, right? And the more emotionalized something becomes, whether it's good or bad, so to speak, whether it's scary or funny, whether you're laughing or you're crying, the more emotionally charged something is, the quicker it gets into your subconscious mind, the more real it becomes to you. Right? That's why we like certain movies, because they got to us. Other movies didn't get to us, but they're both still movies. Right? So it's the ones that move us. That's the ones that move us. The ones that move us emotionally, move us physically, move us to tears, move us to laugh, move us to the ones that move us, move us. Right? So this is a great beginning, a great way to start understanding the world outside of you. Right? And say, okay, I'm strapped in here and I'm looking at it through this lens or through my own persona, through my own set of beliefs and assumptions and biases and all the other things that we all have. That is what's coloring my world. And if I want to see a different world, then I change some of these, I'm going to see something different. If I go to a different movie stream, I'm going to see something different. That is why and we're going to see whatever we want to see, whatever's going to move us or thrill us. Right. So something to start getting an understanding of, right? That you are not your body, you're in it. Right? That this world is your virtual reality. This is your place to experience whatever it is that you want. That's what it's for. Right? Just like the movie, that's what it's for. The glasses, that's what they're for. Plain and simple, that's what they're for. Right? So any questions on that? No. Let's see what else. Anything else? One more. Okay, so I could put up 1,000 different things, but here's just some examples. The body, Kansas, the flu, and the house. What do these all have? What do these all have in common? And I put up the most random things so that the answer is not obvious, because I always want people to work for it. Right? I always want people to get that workout in. Right? What do the body, Kansas, the flu, the house? what do they have to do with each other? What do all of these have in common?
Could you read them out again? I'm driving and it's not a good time to look.
Sure. The body, like, right? The body, Kansas, like the state, the flu, right? Like a cold, and the house, like where we live. The body, Kansas, the flu, and the house.
They can all be attacked or invaded.
Okay. Okay. I didn't even think about that one, but I like it. I like it. Okay.
Sparkle Baby said you got me on that one.
Oh yeah, I try to make it as random as I can, purposely.
I almost want to say like that we all have a choice. Something about like, I'm thinking something about like a choice. Like we all can choose to be in one of those, but the body's throwing me off.
All I can think about is we're not in Kansas anymore. That's all that keeps in my head.
Okay, so
What does that have to do with this?
then let's see.
Well, I
Let me
say
see.
we can be in all of those places at the same time.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that, but that's good.
Good one.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but that's good too.
Natasha put it was all in your head.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So none of these this is just not what I was gonna say. But all these are things I didn't think about, and they're good. Right. But since I'm teaching, I'm right and you're wrong. I'm gonna go there and take some professional liberties. Right. All right. So here we go. And this is important, right? Okay, I'm gonna add another one. I'm gonna add another one.
Have this different right there, the lights shining there.
Oh, okay. I'll put it. Relationships. Relationships. Give you another clue. Like this is a Wheel of Fortune.
Option.
Okay. Give you another clue.
Okay, wait. Can we can choose to go, like we choose basically the relationships, we choose the house, we choose if we want to get the flu or not, or if we want to get rid of it or not. We can choose to go to Kansas. We can choose
Okay.
what body we want to have, I guess.
And then life, right?
Would
Mhm.
it be different states?
Say it again.
Different
Different
states.
states.
Different
Yeah, okay.
states.
Okay, right. States, you can put that up here too. States. That's true too. So here it is. All of these things are nothing without you. All of these things are nothing without you. Without
How
you,
is Kansas?
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. I'm just trying to
Yeah, go
understand
ahead.
how is Kansas a part of that.
Say it again.
Sorry, I was asking how is Kansas nothing without me? I've never been there.
Correct. But if nobody goes to Kansas, what is Kansas if no one's there? Is it Kansas?
It's still Kansas. It's just empty.
How could it be Kansas if no one was there? If no one ever came, how would it ever be named Kansas?
Man, it's been there since creation. We just call it Kansas by like land demarcations and state lines, but it's
That's
always
correct.
been.
That is correct. But who created Kansas?
Well, as a Christian, I'm going to say God did, but I mean, someone else may have a different viewpoint on that.
That is correct. And so what would God create Kansas for?
For us to have domain and to choose, it's going to be Kansas. We're going to call it Kansas, and we're going to decide what's in Kansas.
What's the first two words you said?
For us to choose, or for
What's
us?
the first two words?
For us.
Dominion.
For us.
For us.
For us. It's nothing without us. It was created for us. It's nothing without us. It's nothing without us. It's for us. Everything on this earth was created for us to use. Whether it's the sun, whether it's the moon, it's for us to use it. It is here to support our experience. Right? That's all these things are nothing without us. They don't have any meaning or value without us. They're not providing anything, supporting anything. There's no one to call them anything. There's no one, it's for us. They can't, without us, they're nothing. Without us, they can't exist as they are. You can't have a relationship without you. You can't have the house without you, it becomes abandoned. Can't have the body without you, you're dead. You can't have life without you if you're not alive. You can't have Kansas, it wouldn't even be called Kansas. Nobody would be able to use it as Kansas. There'd be nothing in there for it to be anything. It would just be land, that's true. But the reason we demarcated it, the reason we drew the state lines, the reason we call it that is to separate it from something else. Whether it's by weather, by territory, by topography, by geography, by whatever else it is. The flu, there's no people in the graveyard with the flu. Now, maybe they're in there because of it, but once they're in there, it's it. The flu needs you. None of these things, they're for us. They're for us to use. They're not maybe something we want to use, but they're for us to use. Another word meaning expression. They are things we use to express ourselves. So like when Leslie was talking earlier and she was saying, well, the mind and all the different things she was saying, and she was saying, the life is basically going according to the mind. So if you're not willing to change your mind, you can't change your life. Why? Because your life is going according to the mind. So when the mind has a thought, it needs a physical thing to express it. It needs something to express that thought. An artist needs a canvas. A writer needs some paper, or now a computer screen. Right? A singer needs a mic. Right? Not to make them what they are, to express what they are, or to express what they're desiring to express. These are just tools. These are things that we use to express ourselves. So according to who we believe we are and what we believe we are going to pick these things. Every single thing is for your expression. That's why some people like apples, some people don't. Some people like bananas, some people don't. Some people like to be entrepreneurs, some people don't. Some people like to want to be parents, some people don't. The things themselves are neutral. The things themselves are just tools to be used to express ourselves. That's why everyone's life is going according to them. Because your life is a tool that you're using to express yourself. Your relationships are tools that you're using to express yourself. Your concept of that thing. What is your concept of a relationship? Those are the type of people you're going to pick. And the ones that you pick that don't accurately reflect that, those are people that you don't really keep that relationship alive with. Because they're not an actual reflection. Just like that friend that doesn't taste good is the same. You'll get rid of them for the same reason that food didn't taste good. You wouldn't do that again. You wouldn't go back into that thing again. You'd be like, yeah, that's a little too bitter. Or they complain too much. Or they're always gossiping. Or whatever else it is. There's when you use that relationship is to express yourself. It's expressing your idea of what you think that is.
Veronica said that is deep.
Right? It's literally what it's what you're doing. So like when you're going house hunting, right? You're looking for a place to stay, right? But to you, stay means what? Everybody's stay means different. Right? Some people get a house, right? Some people get a house and they're just going to flip it. Everybody's concept of that thing is personal. They're just using the thing to express it. And the people who are happy with the thing they have are the people who physically matched up what they are non-physically thinking about. They have a physical reflection of their thought. The people who are unhappy have a physical have a physical thing that does not accurately reflect their thought. The thing itself doesn't matter because you're using the things for all the same reasons. Some people don't want to live in Kansas because it's not heavily populated. It's in the middle of the country. It's not a destination state. Nobody really goes there for too much of anything. Some people don't want to live in California or New York because it's too expensive. Some people like to live in Florida or Southern California because of the weather. It's generally warm 90% of the time, right? But so we're picking those things that accurately reflect who we believe ourselves to be. But it is challenging to pick these things properly if you don't know who you are. If you don't have a firm understanding of who you are, it's hard to pick the physical reflection accurately. And all these are reflections. All these are physical things, physical tools that you're using to express your thought. They're just expressions. How do I know what you like? By what you pick. How do I know what you want? By what you pick. And if you pick something and then I say, oh, you like that? And you're like, oh, yeah, I tasted that. No, oh, okay. Now I know you don't like it because you got rid of it. Right? But all of these things are nothing without you. They're just tools that the I am of you, the I of you says, am going to be this, am going to do this, am going to say this, am going to have this, am going to go there. They're just tools. They're just things that you use. They're just like a wrench. They're just like a screwdriver. They're no different. They're like a spoon. They're no different. So once you get a firm understanding of yourself, which is why we're here every week, right? To start thinking and say, who am I? What am I? What do I want to be? What can I be? What's possible for me? And as we go through this week by week by week by week, and then day by day by day, we practice it as a lifestyle. We live it as a lifestyle. You start to get a better understanding first of you, and second of it gives you a better then an understanding of the things around you and says, this works for me, this won't, this works, this doesn't. Oh yeah, I like that actually. But it's based on who you are, who you believe yourself to be. Right? So the better understanding we have of ourselves, the better we are going to pick these physical reflections. These things are all neutral. They're nothing without them. They're all neutral. They're just tools. That's why I made them as random as possible. But if we believe in sickness, then the flu is the perfect thing to get. If that's what you believe is a reality and that's just what it is, it's just flu season, then this is the perfect thing to pick up. Right? If you want to live somewhere in the middle of the country and you want a pretty simple, solid, stable, simple life, Kansas is the perfect place to go. But if you want a big city and you want, a whole lot of fashion and you want a place where the weather's nice all year round, Kansas won't work. It just won't work, right? It's just, so the places, all these things are neutral. They're just things that you use to express you because they're for you, they're for us. So we pick according to what we believe we are. Right? The I is always doing something, believing itself to be something, do something, have something. That's what it is. Right? And the am is whatever it is believing. It's now conditioned to say, okay, I'm the power. I can do everything. What am, now I'm saying, okay, what am I doing with it now? Am having, am doing, am living, am liking, am not liking, am not having, am not doing, I am not, or I am, right? So the am is what you're conditioning the I to power. You're saying, okay, I want this. I don't want that. I like this. I don't like that. But all these things are just neutral. They're just things for you to pick and choose from. Right? So that's why one of the first mental pillars, right, is what? Know thyself. If you don't know that, you don't know anything else properly. You won't pick properly You don't know who you are because it's the self of you that's picking. If you don't know, if you don't have an understanding of who you are or who you aren't, then what will you do or what won't you do? Right? We always talk about it every week. As soon as somebody's doing something that they shouldn't be doing, what's the first question we ask?
Why?
What's the first thing they say?
Don't know.
So if you don't know thyself, how could you have properly picked the proper behavior? How could you have properly picked the best expression? Whether that's an emotional expression, a physical expression, a monetary expression, whether it's a business expression, how can you possibly pick properly if you don't know thyself? And it's funny, like, you know, the 99% of the time we ask somebody why they did that, is 99% of that is because we're assuming or feeling or believing they didn't do the right thing. Right? That's why we ask that question 99% of the time. Right? And 99% of the time, they don't necessarily, well, maybe 90% of the time, they don't have an answer. I don't know. So if I don't know, how can I do? Right? How can I do properly? If I'm not going to do properly, then I'm not going to pick the thing that would do properly because I don't know. I don't know myself. I don't know thyself. I don't know. Right? That's why it says you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. If you don't know yourself, you can't be free. Doesn't matter how hard you work, how many jobs you have, doesn't matter how many beads you count, doesn't matter how many candles you burn. I like Yankee Candle, by the way, from Bed Bath & Beyond, like the Yankee Candle. They're very nice. It's a fragrant aroma I really like, right? But it's not really healthy, right? Know myself, it ain't really, but I know myself enough to know I like that, right? But it doesn't matter how many seances we go into, we have to know thyself. We have to sit down and figure out, who am I? What am I? Right? So that I can start actually choosing things that reflect that accurately, properly, appropriately. That's where your freedom is. Your freedom is to know thyself, meaning to choose whatever it is you want to be, and then locate the thing that reflects that. Whether that's where you live, how you live, who you're in a relationship with, if you're one at all, what your health looks like. There's a state, right? I don't remember who said that, but one of the ladies said this, it's a state. It is a state. Every state is available waiting for you. That's why it doesn't move. It doesn't go anywhere. You move into it and you move out of it, whether that's a mental or a physical state. When you move out of Kansas, everybody isn't gone. You move in, you move out. Some people stay. It's a state physically, just like there's a state of mind mentally. So you don't destroy that state when you leave. It's just left for the people who want to go there or who want to stay there. And you can move to another state of mind. But in order to pick the proper state, whether you're living or whether you're thinking, you have to know yourself. That's really the goal of this thing, is to come back to who we really are, to know thyself. Then I can pick all these other things that reflect that knowledge, that awareness. Right? Then you don't struggle, your decision-making gets better. Because you realize it's all available. It's all here. Now, I'm just going to pick the one that's most reflective of me. You go to the movie theater and you're like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Oh, yeah, I want to see that. You just pick the movie that most reflects or best reflects you, your interest, your energy, your thrill, your excitement that you want to experience. That's all these things are. All these things that I wrote down here, right, a minute ago, are all just things that you can either get into or get out of, participate with or not participate with. But it's based on knowing who you are. Right? So that's why we talk about, who am I? What am I? Over and 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 over. It's lovely to come up with fancy things and a whole bunch of new things and a whole bunch of, but over and over and over and over, the fundamentals over and over and over and over. So that you understand, because once you master the fundamentals, then you can go off and get off. You can do anything then. Right? Since so many of us on here, right? We'll talk about the things that most of us aren't here talking about or thinking about for most people, right? We're all talking about the same things, right? We're either talking about business, health, money, relationships, but this is what most people here are on. Most people here are entrepreneurs, whether it's a complete one or a side hustle one, but that's what most people are on. So then if based on what we've said, then what is your business?
It's an expression of self, isn't it?
Go ahead, somebody say something.
It's an expression of yourself.
So
Oh, Natasha, the me.
yes, essentially you, an expression of yourself, right? So then do you know, do we know ourselves well enough to say we picked the right business? Have we thought about, so if that business is a reflection of you and you know yourself, then you should be able to describe your business as you describe yourself. You should be able to literally, your business should be a mirror of you. It should look like you, feel like you, taste like you, smell like you. It should run like you. So guess what happens if you wake up late all the time? Guess what happens if you're not organized or disciplined? Guess what happens if you're unprepared and unaware? What do you think is going to happen to your business? Guess what happens if you don't have any self-confidence? If you don't have any self-respect? If you don't have any self-discipline? Guess what's going to happen to your business? Your business is your mirror. It is an accurate reflection of you. Make no mistake about it. There's no way your business failed and you didn't. Let's just go ahead. I'm just going to put the feelings to the side right now. Just you guys can pick those up in an hour and 14 minutes. Pick your feelings up. An hour and 14 minutes. Right now, we're just going to give you the facts. We'll pick your feelings up at the door on the way out. There is no way your business failed without you failing. You failed before it. Just like the mirror didn't dress you, you had to dress yourself and then present yourself. Yeah. You failed before it, or you are successful before it. It is waiting on you, just like the mirror. It's waiting on you. It's not in spite of you. It's not going to rearrange your clothes for you. It's just going to show you what you're wearing. Your business is not going to change itself. It's not going to grow. It's not going to shrink. It is in literal direct proportion and relation to you. That's why it's called your business. Now, if you have a partner, now you're going to bring it up. Now you got to watch them too. Because now it's whoever's business it is, that is how it's going. It doesn't matter what you do. I had a parent about 3 weeks ago, and she was like, "Oh, I don't want my, her daughter's going to college and she's going on an art scholarship." And so she was like, "But I don't really think art is, that important. How's she going to do it for a living? Or what are they going to do? Or, what are they going to do afterward?" And I said, "Well, Van Gogh made it. Picasso made it. I mean, these dudes have been dead for a minute and you still know their name." Right? I said, "I've been to the Louvre in Paris. They were kind of up there." So she's like, "Well, what does that mean?" What it means is that if you're good at anything, you can make it. I don't care if it's recycling, painting, plumbing, having a laundromat, a pizza place. It doesn't matter what you do. If you are good at, people will patronize. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. There's literally nothing you can do that somebody and enough people won't pay for if you do it well. Period. So there's nothing so whatever business or desire you have in your mind, you can absolutely positively do that. In possibility, but in your virtual reality, you better know who you are. And who you are better be the person that is that in the end, your desired end. You have to be your desired end. You can't get there and become it. You have to be there. You have to be it to become it. You have to be it to become it. You already have to be the person who is marriage material before you become married. Nobody wants to marry you and then hope you get it together. Huh. Nobody wants to hire you and then hope you come to work. Huh. Right? That's what an interview is for. They're trying to figure you out before they hire you. They're trying to figure you out before they marry you. They're trying to, why do you think people love the samples at Costco? People on there getting a whole 5-course meal walking around the aisles, right? Because they know if they can just get you to test it, right? People love to test things. But then guess what? What happens when it tastes good? You bought something, you got 2 bags of something in the cart that you didn't even know existed before you walked in Costco.
Leslie put in the chat, I went to a French fry stand every week when I was in Toronto because they were so good and fries was all they sold.
That's it. You don't have to sell 1,000 things. You don't have to sell 1,000 things. You could sell one thing 1,000,000 times. You could have 1,000,000 people waiting on it. 1,000,000 people, right? Just think about Jay-Z and Lil Wayne and all these people back in the day, Michael Jackson. Just think about it. What else, when they first started, what else were they doing besides what they were doing? Were they doing anything else? Besides singing, dancing, rapping, or anything else? Were they doing something else when they first started? No, right? So then, and guess what? You had to wait for that CD or that album to come out.
Right.
And it was all they did. So they didn't have multiple streams of income. They had multiple album sales and took that streams of income and put it 1,000 different places. You don't have to do 58,000 things. Do something so good that, like those fries, I don't even like fries. I don't even want no fries. It's 9 o'clock, but I smell them. I gotta go. Right? I don't even, like whatever it is you do it so well because you know yourself. So your business is a reflection of your self-knowledge, your self-awareness, your self-respect, your self-discipline, right? It's a reflection of you, right? And so what happens is we take our own biases and put them into our business. Go ahead.
Leslie put in the chat, I also believe business would be a struggle, so I adopted a pattern that created struggle just so I could overcome the struggle. I realized today it was all because of my mindset.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because what did you put into your business? Like you said, what did you put in your business?
Hurdles that I had to get over.
Say it again.
I put me in my business, which
Yes.
you know,
So what part of and what you just said in your thing, what did you put? What did you put in there?
I created hurdles that I had to overcome in order to have the agreement that business would be a struggle.
So then your business didn't have to struggle. You just had the belief that it's so.
100%.
But if
I created the struggle so I could overcome the struggle, so I could feel like I was doing the thing that that I believed was true.
Yeah. It's virtual reality. We're looking at life through our own prism. We put belief with the belief we put into our business. So the belief we put in was struggle. Then we'll call a business consultant and say, I'm going to call this person because I'm struggling with my business and I don't know why. When you say you're struggling with your business, do you know what you're really struggling with?
Yourself.
You think nobody buying your stuff? Yeah, nobody's buying you. They're not buying you. You have a you problem. That's what, right? We have a us problem. This business could be anything. Put in health. Put in money. Put in friends. Put in safety.
Marriage.
Anything.
Children.
Relationships, right? Doesn't matter what you put in it. It doesn't matter. These are all interchangeable pieces. They're all expressions of yourself. That's why I said earlier, none of these things can be alive without you. So if they can't be alive without you, they can't be separate from you. And if they can't be separate from you, then you better figure out who you are. Because that's how it's going to go. So if you want to predict your future, look at yourself.
I'm gonna need to take a nap after this.
That's it. That's it. This is that good emotional itis. That's what this is. If you want to know what the outcome of something is, if you want to know what your outcome is going to be, look at you. You can know what's going to happen before you do it. You don't even have to waste any time. If you go into this business with the belief of struggle, if you go into the business of health, if you go into your life and think it's flu season, if you go into to the business of money, let's just say, and think money doesn't grow on trees and it's hard to make, or you got to grind to get it. If you go into friends, I'll change it. These friends ain't loyal. You want to go off into that. If you think that you gotta lock all your doors, put the club on your car, put 3 different surveillance cameras around it. If you don't have the feeling of safety, it don't matter what you put. Don't matter how you strap yourself down. You can strap yourself down like a 6-month-old baby in a car seat. You just get thrown out the car in a car seat. You can't. That's just what. You'll be in the car seat. Aren't you getting thrown around in your life, in your body? Aren't you getting thrown around? Right? Aren't you getting tossed around? Yeah, you're still in your body. You're still strapped in, but you're getting tossed around. Right? If you want to know the outcome of anything, look at yourself first before you get in it. You want to predict the future? Look at you. If you want to predict your future, not the world's future, because you're not in charge of the world. You're in charge of your world. Your world, singular. Your world. You are in charge of that. You have dominion over that, not the world. That's the collective of all of us. That's the world. All of us, the Elohim, one made up of many. So when everybody gets a slice of pizza, there's one box when it comes. And then everybody takes a slice of pizza. You're not in charge of the box. You're in charge of your slice. Right? You're in charge of your slice. So if you have your slice in your hand, right, and you eat it, that's your world. You're in charge of that. Right? You are in charge of your world. And I always start with business here because most people here are entrepreneurs, and everybody wants to come and everybody wants to talk about that. And I try to make sure I touch on it because I want everyone here to understand that we're not doing this to burn incense, learn how to burn candles better, learn how to face the sun in the right way. And we're not here to do weird stuff. We're not here to learn weird stuff. We're here to learn how to think so we can live well. Well, meaning I want everybody to understand, like, this is for practical, everyday, on the street application. This is not here for everybody to feel better and sound like, oh, I got some positive thinking today, and I'm just going to feel better while I oversleep again. We're not here to find out a better way to fail or a better way to feel good about it. We're here to learn why we're not winning the way we should be and how to do that.
Earlier you made a comment and it said be to something, but it was
Yes.
kind of like be to become, but it
Yes.
wasn't become. What was the word?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh,
You have to be to become.
Be to become.
You have to
Okay.
be to become. When you're sick, you're sick. You have to be in order to become. How do you know you became sick? When you started coughing. But just when you started coughing is not when you were sick. Now it's just letting you know you are something. So you think once you started coughing, you became sick. You've already been sick. That's why you started coughing. You've already been. You had to be before you become or before you became. You have to already be. Because the becoming is the expression of being. Being is mental. Becoming is physical. Being is mental. It's the ability to assume you are something or the assumption that you've already made. Being is mental. Becoming, the expression is physical. Being is cause. Becoming is effect. It's the effect. It's the outcome of being. So every Saturday we are learning how to be, to consciously be. We are always being. We're just unconsciously doing it most of the time. It's unconscious. We've accepted things like belief in the struggle of a business. If you know so after this, homework. Here's some homework for today. Homework number 1. Pick an area of your life, your business, your relationships, your money, your health. Pick any area of life you want. And I want you to literally sit down and be honest. Think about what you think about in that area. Or is like Leslie said, she said, I had a belief in a struggle. Right? I want you to pick an area of your life and see what your thoughts are about it. Literally, what am I thinking is true in this area? If I sit down and I, let the thoughts roll around in my mind, what assumptions do I catch myself thinking? What do I catch myself believing? What do I catch myself assuming? When you catch those things, they are literally like fortune tellers. They're literally like predicting your future. Literally, they are showing you what you are creating, what you are leading yourself to. They're showing you what you are replicating and reproducing as physical experience in your world. And I want you to understand that what you are thinking about in this area is because of you and is going to affect you. You are the cause and the affected. You are the cause and the affected. Period. Those thoughts are letting you know what you be, what you are, what you am, what you is. They're letting you know what you're already assuming as true right now. And the becoming is what is coming. It's what you're walking into or what is just repeating. Right? So everyone take an area of life and sit down and just let your mind go in that area and see what comes up. And if you don't want the outcome of it, change it. Parenting is hard work. I got to have 5 different jobs. Marriage is hard work. Well, then don't be mad when it's hard. Don't complain to your girlfriends when he didn't pick his shoes up off the floor. You said it's hard. Here you go. Right? If you people think like they're keeping it real, being honest. No, if you know thyself, you would realize that, what does it say? Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those that love it will eat the fruit thereof. It's not because you say it, it's because you believe it. That's why you said it. It's a deep down, deep rooted belief that you don't always have to come up with yourself. You can just take them from other people. That is the power you have, is the ability to choose what you think and believe. Because choice plus belief equals outcome. Write it down. A squared plus C squared equals B squared equals C squared. Don't mess me up. Somebody mess me up. Or somebody else's fault, not mine. Right? Choice plus belief equals outcome. You don't have to even know why you believe it. You don't even have to know how you believe it. It doesn't matter what the choice is or what the belief is. There is no such thing as positive or negative. There is no such thing. Whatever you choose and believe, and you hold those 2 things, the choice and the belief, that is your outcome. And until you choose 1 or 2 of those things, the outcome is going to remain the same. The outcome is always based on your choice and your belief in every area of your life. So like when Leslie said, hey, I believed in the struggle, she believed in the struggle, but she also believed she could overcome. So she did both. So if you can do both, then you can do one or the other. I would drop one and just keep the other, right? And I'm sure she's done that. But that's what we're all learning how to do, is become aware of what we're thinking. We're always manifesting. We're always bringing the unseen into the scene by what we are choosing and believing. That is literally putting the money in the vending machine and hitting the little A1 and the Doritos come out. That's the outcome. The choice plus your money, the prayer plus your belief equals outcome. The choice plus your money equals the chips. That's it. You plus your belief in the struggle equals your business, you having a business that you struggle in and overcome and everything else, like some kind of war movie. And you crawling all on and bear crawling across the line and mud all over your face. We get all kind of stuff getting ourselves going. We don't have to, it doesn't have to be that hard, but we make it that hard. But that just shows us who we are. We are the power to do anything. That's why we came here, because we can do anything. We know we're going to remember who we are eventually. We're not here. We don't have to suffer, but a lot of times we make the choice to. All of us, we make the choice to, right? But we can change it. That's what we're here to realize, that we can change it. That we have the power. We are the power. We are free will itself. The free will is our ability to choose and then believe or assume it's so. Consciously. We're always doing that unconsciously. Right? Our job here is to do it consciously, to make a decision to be what we want to be. Right? Anybody have something they want to say?
Oh, Veronica put, yes, we have the power.
And why do we have the power? Why is that? Why do we have the power?
Because we are the I am.
Say it again.
Because we are the I am.
Right. Because we are the power.
Natasha put, because we are the power.
We are. Because we are, we have. Because we are, we do. Right? Whatever we be, we become. This is cause. This is effect. This is the equation. This is how it works. Right? Just like in math, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. There's order. There's order. Right? So because we are, we do. Because we are, we have. But we can't have or do anything we are not first. We are not first. We have to be. We have to are. We have to be first. It is hard to be successful with a belief in struggle. Struggle and success don't go hand in hand. Contrary to, well, if there's no struggle, the glory's in the struggle, and it's in the struggle, and it's in the struggle, and the struggle, and the struggle. Everybody's into the struggle. It's into the struggle. Like, no. When you get better at anything, what does it get?
Easier.
Easier. So then where the hell does the struggle come from? Because you're not good at it. Because you're not doing it the right way. Because you're not thinking about it properly. Because you don't know how to think about it. That's all of us. And so that's what we're trying. That's what we're not trying. That is what we are intentionally doing here. Is learning how to choose. Somebody say something. Yes.
That underdog mentality. That you need to come up from the bottom, rise to the top, in order to be successful. That being the underdog was more meaningful than having something come easily to you that you were successful at.
Now here's how, and you're absolutely right. Everybody says it, and a lot of times we think it, but here's how I'm going to say it. 1985. I'm going to use a 1985 word because I know they don't use this word anymore, but I'm going to use it because, like I said, everybody's feelings are at the door. That is the stupidest thing of all time that we believe. But here's why. Here's why. But here's why. Here's why. Here's why. Right? Here's why. And I use that word, right, to be facetious and ridiculous, right? But here's why. Think about it. Remember when I said know thyself, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you know who you are, how could you possibly be an underdog? Who were you before you put that mask on? Who were you before you put those artificial intelligence glasses on? If you were not an underdog before you put them on, how could you be one with them on? See, I sat down because it was still a little too early to throw the marker. Still a little too early in the, in the second half hour. I gotta make it dramatic when I do it. I gotta make sure I have enough room because I may fall down in here. Right? How can you be an underdog if you started rich? If who you were made everything, if you made Kansas, you made the sun, the stars, the moon, the beach, the true you, the you who we know ourselves to really be. How can we be an underdog? Then who's on top of you? Who are you under? And who are you on top of? That's like we all got a pizza box. We all took a slice of pizza out, and I'm gonna eat mine fast because I'm an underdog. It's like, well, we all got the same box of pizza. We all got the same slice of pizza. We all eating it from the same pizza place. We're all eating at the same time. So how can I make myself an underdog eating some pizza? How do you do that? Right? But mentally, how can we possibly be an underdog from whence we came? Right? We just start, but what does it go back to? We can believe anything, and we always are. We just come up with all kind of nonsense for ourselves. That's part of the human condition, part of humanity, and part of living. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we come here, right, to get our mind back, to get our righteous mind back, to start thinking properly, like, okay, that was ridiculous. Okay, I probably shouldn't have done that. And now it's like, all right, my bad, and I keep it moving. Right? This is not a judgment place. It's not a criticizing place. It's just like, but that's why it's so important to know who you are. Because you would know that thought is ridiculous. It's just not even something you could actually even be. It's something you have to make yourself be. You have to literally oh, well, somebody stepped over me. Well, why were you there? Well, I decided to lay down. Okay, well, they didn't step over, you decided to lay down. It wasn't like somebody could push you down. It's to say, like, nobody can make you an underdog, you can choose to be one. Right? We've all chosen to be underdogs in life, struggle, go through this whole thing. Because that's like a movie. It makes it exciting in the middle of the movie, right? The person didn't get the job. The person's now, they don't know what they're going to do. It makes it compelling, right? It's like, oh my God, what are they going to do? Oh, girl, if that was me, I'd do this. Or like my stepdad, if that were me, I would have tackled him and I would have hit him out of bounds. And we sitting there looking at him like, man, if you don't stop it right now. Did you even play football? Stop it. Right? But that's why we watch sports or movies, right? Because they're compelling. They move us, right? According to whatever it is we like. Whether they're soap operas, novellas, those are the most dramatic things you can get. Boy, them Spanish-speaking novellas, there's more people fainting per episode. Yeah. Whoa, oh, ay Dios. And I mean, they get all the way out the frame with it.
Gasket Spanish.
Oh, man. Oh, yes. Boy, I'm telling you. The most makeup you can find. I don't even think they put it on. I just think they just dump it on. They just put it on. They just standing there with this makeup coming all over them like a car wash. They just put all the makeup on at once. They don't even do eye by eye. They just stand under it and just pour it on like paint. Right? It's the most dramatic thing you'll ever find out, boy. But it is a trip, right? But we do that because that's what makes life, and that's okay. Right? That is okay. Right? But at some point, the movies, the show, the telenovela has to go off. Yeah. There's so much makeup on there, you'd be like, God. Boy, serious. Boy, I'm telling you. Hair straighter and firmer than a center divider on a freeway. Thing's so tight, if you touch it, you bump into it, it feel like an accident. Hit your hand, you be like, oh my God. How you speaking Spanish? You don't even speak in Spanish, and then you hit their hair, man, I'm telling you, those things be serious. I be watching them sometimes. I used to watch them to get my Spanish game up, and it's so cool because they act out the whole thing. She's like, oh, I know what that word means. I know for sure, boy, because she staggered 3 times and said adios. It was like, oh my God, it was like Fred Sanford, like this is the big one, right? It was like that. They staggered 3 times. Oh yeah, okay, that must mean adios. Okay, oh God, okay, all right, yeah, I figured that was quick. Right. But at some point the episode's got to end. At some point, we have to come back to our mind and say, okay, now we're gonna get back to reality. Right? We can't be an underdog. It's not even possible. Now we can make ourselves one because that's possible. Because we have the power to be or not be, to overcome, or just to walk right on top of the water. We could turn the water into wine or just sit there like everyone else before the cat got there and be sitting there looking at big old barrels of just water. Or somebody can come through in their right mind and be like D.L. Hughley said, keep the party going. Somebody got to be right. Somebody got to learn how to turn truth into experience. That's why we're here. The things that we're talking about here are truth. And we're here to learn them well enough to start experiencing them. Right? So when we're talking about your business, right, we are talking about you. And when you sit down and think about what's going through your mind, you can start to really see, as a result, what's going on in your business. And if you want to change your business, you want to make more money, then guess what? You have to start making more money in your mind. You have to start assuming yourself to be more successful. In order to get the outcome of a desire, you have to first embody it. You have to give it life. When somebody talked about states, yeah, right? And we talked about that a couple weeks ago. I remember Ray talking about that for sure, right? And we talked about states of mind. Just like there's states in America, there's states of mind. Like there's states in Africa, there's states of mind. And where you live is what you're going to get. So in order to change your money, you're going to have to embody a different state of mind. You're going to go from struggle to success. From I hope so to I know so. From I make 300 a day to 3,000 a day. Those first start in your mind. People think they start off on an advertising. They don't. They first start in your mind. To see yourself as something different. That's why you are what you are. Your life is a reflection of how you see yourself. And part of life is business, health, money, relationships, whatever else they are. Right? So it is important that you occupy the state of mind that you want to live in, just like you occupy the state of America that you want to live in. And that state has everything in it: the weather, the people, the accents, the food, the way people dress, everything. That state is pumping out into your life. That state of mind is pumping out into your life. And you are occupying it just like you're physically occupying a state in America. And according to that state, you have different weathers, especially as the seasons change. Right? So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. We're talking about the same thing every single week. Try to talk about it different to give everybody some different spice, give somebody some different, dramatics and theatrics. But essentially, we're talking about the same things. And we're talking about the same things because they apply to everything. I always say, I don't care what any of you want to be. I just want you to be it. I don't care what any of you want. I just want you to have it. So all we're doing is talking about the fundamentals so that you can then apply these fundamentals to any and every area of life you want to apply. Your business, your health, your money, your relationships, your life. So that you can have the life you want, not the one I think you should have, not the ones your friends think you should have, your spouse or your partner think you should have. This is your life. It says know thyself. It didn't say know her, know him. It said know thyself, know you. Once you start to know you, the better you know you, the better you can start to identify and understand the things around you. Whether they're people, places, situations, circumstances, conditions, things, right? Stuff like that, right? Know yourself. Well, the self of you is what your business looks like. The self of you is the state of mind that you're occupying. Your mind is always in a state. Just like in America, you're always in a state. You're somewhere. At all times, you're somewhere. As long as you're alive, you're somewhere. As long as you're alive, you're somewhere. In mind, you are somewhere. Don't ever think you're not. So when you think like, oh, it doesn't really matter what I think today, it doesn't really matter. No, okay, that's like saying it doesn't matter where you live. How many people believe that? Doesn't matter where you go. How many people believe that? So it does matter where you live. It does matter what you're thinking. It does matter what you're believing and assuming. It does. Because that's where you are. And that's what you are. And that's why you are. And if you want to change any of those outcomes, you first start with being, emming, ising, right? Which you're assuming yourself to be first person present tense. Right? That is why. That's why we are what we are and where we are, right? Any questions, comments, or anything like that on anything I said?
You said a mouthful. It was all true. I believe it. I live by it. Yeah, this was amazing. Thank
said
you.
a mindful, my brain is running all over the place. And I remember a thing when you were talking about, you know, do you live in Kansas and who made Kansas, Kansas and the whole 9 yards. I remember my dad telling me when I was young, humans are the only ones that identify borders and boundaries. Nature, you know, plants grow where they grow, animals go where they go. We're the ones that create and identify boundaries. And with what you're saying today, I realize that that's true in my mind also, that I've created boundaries for myself that only I know exist, that don't truly exist. They only exist because I've created them.
Absolutely. Because what we say, Kansas didn't exist before we started drawing lines, right? People didn't call it Kansas, they called it free land.
Right.
They're like, they called it finders keepers, right? Nobody called it, right? It's it. It's it. But guess what? Guess what? There's another side to that coin. Guess what? Why do you think flowers only grow where they grow? Why do you think animals only go where they go? What is the difference between us and them?
They recognize the environment that feeds them.
Why do they have to do that?
Because milk thistle doesn't grow on the beach. And if you're an animal that needs that to survive, you got to be where it grows.
Because
Most animals stay what preserves their species. It's a preservation of species. If where they are has everything they need, they have no reason to leave. Whereas we try to conquer everything, whether it's got what we need or not.
Well, you said they have no reason to leave.
Right, as long as the environment that they're in is providing everything they need, like land development. That land is untouched with every fox, snake, spider, whatever in that region because it's giving them what they need. The moment we come in and start clearing the land, it's no that ecosystem is no longer able to sustain those species, and so now they have to move to find another environment to give them what they need to keep living, survival of their species. But we're kind of like the only species that goes and makes wherever we are what we need it to be, whether it had it when we got there or not, I guess is what I'm saying.
Correct. So animals stay where they are because they have no reason to leave, but they also have no ability to leave. They can't leave because they need provision. Humanity is creation. Humanity is created. Humanity, that is why, what does it say? What does it say? We are made in the image and likeness of the Creator. We are made to function just like. Now, in our humanity, in our insanity, let's say, we destroy things. We do all kinds of things, right? Right. And as we grow up, just like when we have young, if we have kids or especially younger, they have power. They can break things and mess things up, burn things up. They can do all kinds of things. But as they mature, they learn how to properly express that creative authority. Right. And so as we mature in our mind, we have to learn how to express our creative authority. But the reason that they stay is because they can't create anything. Animals don't create things. They are provided for, but it's because they don't have the highest level of thought that humanity does. If we're not talking about better or worse, we're just saying different. And what I'm saying is that as creators, which is what we are, right? That's why we started naming Kansas and drawing lines and things like that. It's because it's a reflection of who we really are, creators, the creator, what people call God. We're made in the image and likeness of that, not in body, but in thought, and as the highest level of thought in our environment. Otherwise, we can never have a zoo. Because all them animals, you let them gates open, it's over. We all gone. We all gone, right? But how did we get them in there? If they're bigger, faster, stronger, and everything else, it's because we have ability to think at a level that they don't. I'm not saying we always use it for the best good. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it is true. That's why we have the authority over our world that no other species has. It's not physical, it's mental. But that mental reflection is because of who we truly are, not our body, but what's making our body alive. The spirit that is in us. That's what we have that they don't have. So yes, they stay where they are because they're provided for. They don't have a choice. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is their psyche. That is their mind. They're not missing anything. They know they're always provided for. But we are the providers for ourselves. Humanity is a provider for itself. We have to build buildings. We have to do this and do that and do this or do that. They don't have to do that in order to eat. They don't have to do that. They're provided for by that same consciousness. But that same consciousness knows these people don't think like me, so I have to provide things. These people do, you're on your own. You're me, I'm you, make it work. It's just a different level of thinking. I'm not saying better or worse, and I'm definitely not saying we use it properly the way we should, but we use it the way we can to our glory or to our destruction. Right? But it is still us. It is, you guys ever notice how quiet it is in the morning? Say 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Everybody notice how quiet it is? 3, 4, 5 in the morning. You know why that is? Why is that? Why is that? Why is it so quiet 3, 4, 5 in the morning?
People are asleep, so they're not conscious.
Okay. Pretty good.
Most everything is at rest.
Okay. So charging my car early in the morning, I'll see deer, because where I live, it's kind of like in a suburb, and it's kind of like going at like the base of kind of like some hills. So you start to see more nature. So I see deer running across sometimes, raccoons, skunks, just things that more wolves, seeing a couple of them, things like that, right? But so the more nocturnal, especially the more the nocturnal animals before the sun comes up and all the other stuff, right? But point is that there's not many of them up, but some of them are up. But the reason it's so quiet at 3, 4, 5 in the morning is because the creators are asleep. The creators are asleep. It's quiet because the creators aren't out creating, whether it is inventions or chaos. The creators are asleep. The people that are actually doing all the things in the world, you realize who that is at 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Because if there are no humans up or out, it's quiet. When humans are up or out at 3 p.m., look at how it sounds then. It's a whole different ballgame, right? Because the creators are asleep. We are made in the image and likeness of God. We are and that is in function, not in body, in function. Because God is spirit, right? It's not man, not woman, spirit, right? So the image and likeness that we're made in is the ability to create. That is our faculty. That is the image and likeness, the ability to create, to choose, to think, to make, to unmake. So that's why we can go all over the globe. But animals got to stay where it's good for them because they can't create. They're provided for. You stay here. But the adults can go everywhere. The babies got to stay here. The toddlers got to stay here. Don't move. Stay right here. The adults can go everywhere. The highest level of thinking, the most mature, the highest level of thinking can go anywhere. That's why we've been all over the world. As humans, in humanity. That's why we went to the moon. As humans, we can go because we have the ability to think at the highest level on this planet. Like I said, we don't always use it well, but that's actually what the differences are. Right? So animals know they're taken care of. Instinctually, they know they're taken care of. We have to take care of ourselves because we are, what does it say? Know you not that you are all God's sons of the Most High? Right? That we are all made in that image and likeness. And God creates. Wasn't that what it was doing the first 6 days that it talked about in the book? Creating? That's what we do. whether it's Kansas, right? Whether it's inventions, whether it's artificial intelligence, computers, cars, buildings, we create. We're made in that image and likeness. And that image and likeness that is referring to is thought, mental capacity, language, function, things like that, right? Right? Just like that, right? So creation, we are creators. That's why it's quiet. That is why we live the way we live. And that is why it's important to know who we are, so that we create according to who we are, and who we are should be proper thinking. We should be thinking proper, right? We have to understand that. We can't just be thinking anything. We're the creators. Can't just be thinking anything. That's not going to work. Oh, I think that's somebody in. All right, it's not going to work. Not going to work. All right. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Now, for those of us that were here last week and we had the homework, who did it? Who did the homework? Who sat down and wrote their stuff? Who did that and wants to volunteer?
I did.
Anyone?
I did. I wrote the statements.
Okay. Right. And what did you get from it?
Well, I definitely got that the majority of the
So, okay, let me
affirmative
back up a little bit. Just for those who weren't here, what was the homework? And then you can say what you got from it, just for those who weren't here.
to write parent statements for 5 areas of your life.
Okay. So it doesn't have to be yours specifically, but what would be an example of that?
So saying I am healthy versus I am health.
And which one of those the parent statement?
The parent statement is I am health.
Okay. Okay. So as a result of doing that, right, you said I am actually the thing itself, not just the thing that expresses, but I'm actually the thing. I'm actually taking charge of the source of it, right?
Yes.
What did you get? What did you get from that experience?
That I feel like that in the course of trying to say things that are affirming, I'm still creating smallness where I'm trying to create greatness or boldness in my life. Where I'm trying to be full, I'm still creating lack. So being grateful instead of being gratitude.
And that is a subtle difference that makes all the difference. Like we talked about earlier, it's like, how can you be an underdog if where you came from was the top dog, essentially? You're the top dog when you walked in the shop, right?
Right.
Right. And every Saturday we do all this homework and all these drills and things like that to recondition our mind, to start really becoming conscious of who we really are, not who we thought we were or who we are used to being, but actually realize we have a conscious choice to decide this is what I am. And because of what I am, I automatically express. So I don't have to look for the expression. I'm just going to take the whole thing. And it's got to come out of me.
Yes.
Right? It's got to come out. Right? Like, you know, when somebody gets right? Like when somebody gets you know, when somebody wants to start a business and let's say they're going to take a loan out to start their business up, right? So when you take a loan out to start up your business, you do that because you are the what? The owner. The owner. When has anybody ever taken out a loan to be the employee? Like, is any, right? You know, I'm gonna go get this new job. So let me see if I can go down the bank and get me, does anybody ever do that? Right? No, because it'd be ridiculous, right? But the point is that we are taking out loans to be employees. We're saying affirmations and positive thinking and everything like that to still be the person down here. Yeah, forget that. I'm gonna write it so low that you can't see it. I'm gonna write it so low and so small that what's the point of even writing? I'm gonna just say this stuff so low and so small, and this little light of mine, and and I'm just a worm that's a kettle on the fish. I don't even know, but some more ridiculousness. Like, we find all these ways to, denigrate ourselves, to find some way to think we're humble and we're meek and we're mild and we're medium, like it's some kind of salsa. This is not that type of situation. This is not that, right? Like, I wrote something down here. Can anybody see it? Can anybody see this down here? Like, no, you can't. You shouldn't. I didn't do anything. It doesn't, just because I did something doesn't mean it did anything. Because this is all you see. This is all most people are thinking, right? But they're doing this down here, and they wonder why. Like, this is like what you're doing, right? But you want to be this, right? But what you're saying up down here doesn't do anything. Like, there's no love in it, there's no life in it, there's no understanding of who you really are. This is who you are. This is the frame you should be talking from. This is the frame you should be talking from. I don't know, it's probably 6 months, 4 months ago now. I don't know if people remember me saying that even if you own your own company, right? So let me get somebody new. Amanda, you just popped on and you seem to be very alive. So I'm going to ask you a question. You can type it in the chat or you can come on live on screen onto the Saturday morning show. If you are the owner of a business and you take out the trash, who are you?
The janitor.
The trash man?
I said the janitor.
The janitor?
Yeah, the janitor. If you take
The
out the
janitor.
trash, yeah.
Huh?
Yes. If you take out the trash, you're the janitor.
You're the janitor. Now.
But that doesn't mean you're not the owner, though. I mean, maybe you just understaffed.
Yeah, but in his point is that you placing yourself in different positions versus placing yourself in your ownership position. You working in your company instead of on it, instead of owning it.
Right? So this is perfect. Because what these two, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 of you guys talking, but these 2 or 3 ladies talking are the same voices we have in our head. And the same things that people will look at us and say. So number one, whether you are the owner, if you're the owner, whether you're taking out the trash, mopping the floors, mopping the toilet, whether you are answering the phones, ringing up the cash register, you're the owner. What you are doing does not change who you are. What you are doing does not change who you are. And a lot of the things we do are because of who we are. So a lot of the good stuff we do is because of who we are. A lot of the trifling stuff we do is because of who we are. The actions didn't change who we are. The actions are just showing us who we are and our awareness. That's why most owners of business, one of the reasons they're not successful is because a lot of them think they're too good to do certain things, or I can't do that. I can't be seen doing that. You're still the owner whether you do it or not. But because you're the owner, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do everything to make your business successful until you may be understaffed, people called in sick? So if I saw you at the cash register and you owned a yogurt shop, you're still the owner whether I know it or not. You're still the owner whether you're at the cash register or not. Whether you're opening it up, closing it, doing the cash register, mopping, you are always the owner. Who you are never doesn't change. It doesn't change just because you're doing something. But so what happens is we start identifying ourselves by our actions instead of our identity. not realizing that our identity are the one that influence our actions. When you know you're the owner, you don't mind taking out the trash. It doesn't mean you're not going to hire somebody at some point when your money is right, or the person you hired may have been sick or may have been on vacation. You know you're still the owner, but you're taking out the trash because it's your business. But what happens is that we start identifying ourselves by the activity instead of the identity. The activity doesn't change your identity. It doesn't change it. If I'm taking out the trash, that don't make me the owner. The owner taking out the trash doesn't make them the janitor. Your identity is what makes you are who you are. Your title in the business is who you are. Right? And so what's happening is we are defining ourselves but just our actions and not our identity. Because we don't understand what an identity is. Your identity is I'm not going to say it's set, because in the business, right, you can change. But your identity in that moment defines, a certain pay, maybe a certain location in the building, whatever else it is. But the higher up you go, the more responsible you are for the people under you, so to speak. The higher up you go in your mind, the more responsible you are and you become for all the other thoughts in your mind, for all the so-called little things, for the way you live, for how you talk to people, for how you dress. Do you get to work on time? Do you do this? However, all the so-called things under you, right? The little things, so to speak, you become more aware of. You become more perspicacious about, more detailed, more focused, more seeing things, aware, right? When you are the owner, you're always the owner. What you do as an activity does not change who you are. It does not. Taking the trash out every day doesn't make you the owner. Because as the owner, whether you're taking the trash out or not, your name is still on the license. Your name is still on the insurance. The name of the building is still whatever you named it. The hours are still whatever you made. You're still the owner. None of that has changed, even though you may be doing a different activity than you normally do. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is that you are the owner. You are the owner of what?
You.
You are the owner of what?
Your life.
Of your life. You are the owner. Whatever activities you do or don't do does not change this fact, does not change this truth. You are. So now the goal is to say, because I am the owner of my life, what wouldn't I do to make sure this goes off right? This jumps off right. If it means taking out the trash, I'm going to do that. If it means answering the phones, I'm going to do that. If it means mopping the floors, I'm going to do that. If it means waking up early, I'm going to do that. If it means changing what I eat, I'm going to do that. If it means talking to people, better, I'm going to do that. If it means, changing the way I dress, whatever it is for your life to be successful, whatever it is for you, whatever you need to do, you should be willing to do because it's your life. You're the owner. Doesn't matter what you do or don't do, because it doesn't change whether you're the owner or not. But because you're the owner, if you learn how to think, because you're the owner, what wouldn't you do that will contribute to your success? What wouldn't you do? What thought are you not willing to think if that's going to help you? What hour are you not willing to wake up if that's going to help you? What should you not be willing to do if you're the owner? Are you going to let your trash just stay inside the building for 6 weeks because your janitor's, on vacation? Are you going to let stuff just stay and smell? Are you going to let stuff rot and be incorrect or not be right just because that's not your job? It's your business. It's your life. What are you not willing to do? What are you unwilling to do if it's for you, if it's yours, right? So the mistake we make is identifying ourselves based on activity. Activity doesn't define you. Your status defines you, meaning your status in your mind. Who am I? What am I? That defines you. That is defining you. And if that is correct in your mind and you have a proper self-concept, right? The idea of yourself. What am I? Who am I? And that's proper and correct. Then you attach value to it called self-esteem. Because I know I'm this and I feel this way about that, I therefore act, live, talk, speak, wear, draw, waterfall. Because I know who I am, right? I then have a value based on that knowledge of who I am. And then I have a lifestyle that flows from that. Right? And so that's why I gave that example, because most of us get that confused. We start identifying ourselves by activity. But that's not identity. Activities come and go. Activities are temporary. Identity is much more of a solid, fundamental, foundational thing. They take longer to get into and longer to get out of. That's why people have a hard time breaking habits. Because habits are just activities that you've done so long, you start to believe they're you. You start to think you can't stop it. You can't, but that's why I said Kansas and all the different places. Whatever habit you have is just a thing to express yourself. And it's hard to change your expression before you change you. Before you change what you think you are, what you're doing is because of what you think you are or what you think you aren't. Habits are nothing but tools we're using and that we've been using regularly long enough to believe that this is the proper way to express ourselves. But once we realize that this is not the proper way to express ourselves, we seek to change it. But you cannot change the way to express yourself before you change yourself. It's your expression. How can your expression change without changing you? It's yours. The expression is after. You are first. You are the expressor. You change you, the expression changes automatically. Our activities, our expressions are just a reflection of us. They're an outcome of us. We are the cause, the you, the I am, right? Thyself, the self of you. Who is that? How is that? What is that? What is it capable of doing? What is it doing? Is it struggling? Is it successful? Is it life hard? Is it easy? Is everyone working against you? Or is everyone a link in the chain of your good? What is it? What is it? Right? So these are all things that we have to constantly repeat. People need to be reminded more often than they need to be taught. That's why we go over it every week. It's just a reminder, a reminder, a reminder, a reminder. Faith comes by hearing, right? Reminder, 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 reminder. Because then it starts to set in. Then it starts to become a part of us. And then you start to act like the owner of your life. Start acting like the owner of your life. Start acting like, is this the highest level of thought I can think in this area? Is this the highest level of thought or decision I can make in this, with this situation, in this circumstance, in this area of my life? Start thinking as that. That's who you are. You are the creator. That's the difference between you and animals, you and flowers, you and grass, is that you are the creator. If you don't do it, it's not getting done. It's not getting done. And I don't just mean as an individual. I'm talking about in your mind. If you don't change your mind, no, there's no one else to make you change it. If you don't see yourself differently, there's no one else that can make you do that. People can try to influence you to do it. They can try to threaten you to do it, bully you to do it. But if threats and bullying and arresting were all something, there'd be no death penalty. There'd be no jails. No, if you're willing to accept the consequence of any behavior, there's nothing anyone can do to stop you. But that's usually only portrayed as negative, but it's positive as well, so to speak. It's the other side of that. If you're willing to believe you are whatever it is you want to be, there's nothing or anyone that can stop you. Because of who you truly are, the creator, who you truly are. Not the virtual reality, right? That you're living in, that you think is real, or who you think you are, but who you really are. Who you really are is inside of who you think you are. Living inside of you. And when you start to connect to that, when you start to say, this is who I am, right? I am. What? What? I am what? I am doing what? I am being what? I am having what? I am what? What am I? Being, doing, having. What is it? right? That is what we're here to become conscious of, aware of. You are the owner. I am the owner. You are the owner of your life. And just like your business, you have to be willing to do any and every aspect of it in order to make sure it is what you want it to be. Running the way you want, looking the way you want, smelling the way you want, getting the type of customers you want, the type of business you want, whatever, everything that you would do for a physical business, it's the same thing. Your life is your first business. We talked about that, right? When we had that, that little, mental 3-day retreat, right? The business of being you. Your first business is you. And how can you run a business outside of you better than you run your first business, which is you? Right? We keep going over and over and over because it's not complicated. There's 1,000 different scenarios and 1,000 different things that are going on in life, but the answers are always the same. Like Leslie said toward the beginning of, or maybe even before we started at 7, everything is going according to your mind. Like all of us are learning increasingly, everything is going, it all starts in your mind first. It all starts, that's not positive thinking. That's not, no, that's not, that's just thinking. What does it say? As a mind thinketh, so is it. Right? As a mind thinketh in his heart, so is it. According to your faith, according to your assumption, your expectation, according to what you're believing to be true, so is it. All the things it's telling you is they're all mental things. They're not physical things. They're just expressed physically. Because life is lived in the mind. It's just lived, it's expressed through the body. It's lived in the mind, it's expressed through the body. That's why the movie theater, those Oculus glasses, and all those things, that's why they're focus your mind. They get your mind to focus. Once it's got your mind, it already has your body. You feel everything in your body that's going through your mind. It uses its senses to express what's going on in it. Just like you use the blinkers in your car, or the windshield wipers, or you use the radio or the defrost to express your experience. They're all just tools to express your experience when you're inside of this thing. Right? So every week, this is why we come. So that we can master these fundamentals so that you can apply them to your life, to every area or any area. Your business is no different than your health. It's no different than your money. It's no different than your relationships. Those are all things that are not you. They are yours. And they are mirrored reflections of you, what you are thinking about them. If you have a belief in struggle in your business, you have a belief in struggle with money, you have a belief in struggle with your health. If you have it's going according to what you believe to be true. Where you got that belief doesn't matter. How you got it doesn't matter. It can only come because you have it. Now you can spend 58,000 years and, figuring out why, or you can just realize you have it and be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna let this one go. And I'm gonna change my mind. And I'm gonna start assuming. And that's what we talked about last weekend. That's what we talk about affirmations. They're just things to get you into the state of mind. They're not necessary for you to do, but most of us need it because not only do we have to learn this new stuff, we have to unlearn the other stuff. We have to unlearn all the other thoughts and beliefs that we had. And the thoughts and beliefs that we had are thoughts and beliefs because they've been repeated. So now we have to unlearn those by kind of repeating some other things that will move them out. Just like you ate yesterday, you have food in you. When you eat again today, that food is going to sit on top of that food and move that food eventually out. Right? So you have thoughts. If you want to have new ones, if you want to change your life, change your thinking repeatedly. That's all affirmations are. That's all scripting is. That's all meditating is and visualizing is. It's getting a hold of your mind and then getting a hold of it to the point that you can move it. Like, oh no, wait, come back here. And you grab the person's hand, right? Especially a young person, you grab their hand, come over here, stand right here by me. Or go over there like I told you to do, or this or that. Or stand right here next to me, whatever else it is. Right? All this is designed is to first get a hold of your mind to realize, get control of your mind. It is literally controlling your life. That's what these Saturdays are for. Then once you become aware of getting control of your mind, then like I said, we do little homeworks. We talk about different things in different ways to get you to understand how, now that you have control of it, now guide it, guard it, turn it to the direction that you want it to produce for you. by assuming you are whatever it is you want. Choose. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? How much money do you want to make? What type of health do you want to have? What type of relationships do you want to have? What type of car do you want to have? What type of home do you want to have? Whatever it is you want. That's what this is for. So that you can decide what you want to be, what you want to have, all those different things. Because you are the owner of your life. There's no one to decide for you but you. So stop looking around, waiting around. What does it say? The kingdom of heaven is within. Stop looking around. What does it say? Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Stop looking around. Stop looking around. Better pay attention. Stop looking around. It's in you. What you're waiting for is in you. What you're waiting for is you. It's you. You are the great I am. That is who you really are. For years, most of us have gone to church. Everybody's been telling you it's something else or someone else in the sky. It's something else. What does it say? I never leave you nor forsake you. If you're in the sky, you left. When I see a plane in the air, I don't think they're down here with me. What does it say? I never leave you nor forsake you. I'm with you always, even until the end of time. It's in you. It is you. The I of you is what people call God, the creator. That is who you are. The am is what you have conditioned that into being. Leslie, John, Mona, Bess, Natasha, Veronica, whoever, Amanda. That is the am. It's the condition of the I. The I is unlimited, period. The condition, the I is electricity. The am is the phone. You're plugging the two up. The I doesn't need the phone. The phone is temporary to the I. The phone is temporary to electricity. Your body is temporary. It's hooked up to the I. That's why it's alive. So it can power anything you want. What do you want it to be? You're always telling it what you want it to be by describing yourself by saying am. And I saying, oh, we am what? A person? Okay, we're alive. Am broke? Cool, got you. Am sick? Cool, got you. Am wealthy? Got you. Successful? Got you. It's always powering the am, what you are believing yourself to be. So the I is coming in, and you turn that back around and say, okay, cool, come in, and I want you to create this. And it says, okay, good, got it. I'm powering what you believe yourself to be. You get to choose that. That's your free will. That as a human, and the human with our names, that is our free will. Is to choose what we desire to be. The I will power whatever we choose. All right. Got a couple minutes left just to make sure anybody doesn't have any questions or anything. So I can let you guys get out on this hot day, work on your tan, whatever you need to do. All the other good stuff.
Well, this
Hey man, you
section
didn't hear
has.
the sun come up this week, did you? Hey man, did you hear the sun come up this week? I do. Good to see you. My dude. That was good to see you, brother. Always. I like messing with you. All right. Anybody have any
Can
questions?
you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know. You took me back a lot of years when I first joined. When I joined my first MLM, which was Amway, and I'm talking many moons ago. Don't nobody try to count the moons. And they said, you have everything within you to succeed. And I came back in my mind, how do I have everything to succeed and I can't figure this thing out? Well, of course, when the pupil is ready, the master will appear. So I'll just shift that to the side. But last night I had a conversation with my accountability partner, and we were talking about networking, which is something we all do. And we were talking about that question, and she was saying, I hate that question. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And the responses to what do you do, if they were professional, of course, they got more time and seemingly more attention and more interest. But if I were, I don't know, just say maybe I was a housekeeper, or I was something that fell under the label of a blue collar worker versus a white collar worker, and how that determined the conversation. Well, listening to all and learning all about the I and the M, we're almost prohibited from having that kind of discussion in a networking kind of event. And all of what we're learning for me is empowering. It's like, don't play in the back, Karen. Go ahead out there and be that first violinist. You've always been girl in the 7th grade. You in the main orchestra, but yet we temper that down, and we say we temper it down because we don't want to offend and or intimidate whoever we're talking to. But that's all in here. You can't put that on the outside person, world, environment. So I say all of that to say, how better to truthfully express self in a networking situation?
Well, you have to remember, you have to be mindful that, like you said, number one, you can't catch the pearls before swine. So what that means is that you have to understand that everybody, like we've talked about in the last couple of weeks, everybody's in different levels of consciousness, in different areas of awakening. So what you say may be offensive to someone, but if you wake somebody up out of their sleep, unless you're screaming because you won the lotto, or unless the house is on fire, somebody's asleep. So it's disconcerting to be woken up in a way before you're ready, right? And so we're all on this conscious journey, and we're all in different levels of awakening to who we really are. And everybody's not doing it at the same time. So when you're saying networking, you're now putting a whole bunch of people that are in different levels of consciousness. How are you going to come to a uniform agreement? Right? How are you going to come to a uniform agreement? So saying I'm about to say, you have to be mindful about not hiding who you are, but just be mindful of who you're talking to about who you are, because it's not that you don't believe it. And it's not that one day they won't come to their own realization, but they may not be there in that moment. So you have to be wise about what you're talking about and who you're talking to, unless they came to talk to you. But otherwise, like, you say whatever you feel you need to say, but networking is getting everybody to agree on the same thing at the same time. It's like school. Everybody doesn't want to learn the same thing the same way at the same time. That's why some people are learning, some people are asleep in the back. That's why some people come late, some people are listening to their earphones in the back, because everybody's not stimulated at the same way at the same time. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with your own journey, because you are the owner of your life, not theirs. You don't need everybody else's approval and agreement to do you and be you, right? But you also don't have to force it down anybody's throat. If they don't have to agree with you, you don't have to agree with them. You be comfortable being with you, and you allow them to be them. And if there's a conversation that you are wise enough to know you can or can't have, or the limits of that, then you go to that limit, or you don't. If you don't feel you can do that, you don't do it at all. But it's very hard to do that with a lot of people, because everybody's in different stages and states, and you have to be okay with that, because so are you, right? So are we all, right? But we're just coming here because we're all coming together to reason. And even though we're in different stages, that's why we talk about so many different types of things. It's because we all are awake to some point. That's why everybody's here. That's why everybody keeps coming, because they're awake to some point. Some people are further, some people are not good or bad, but some people are a little further down the line. Some people are in 10th grade, some people are in 5th grade, but we're all in school, and we're all awake and realizing something more is happening than what we thought for a long time. And now we're here. And so now we're saying, well, what is it? And everybody's coming together and figuring out what that is. So when you go to a networking event, everybody may not be on that. They just want to know, how can I sell more shampoo? Right? They don't want to hear about I am necessarily. They don't know what that means, right? So you kind of have to be able to be okay with who you are, who they are, and work with what you can work with. Okay, anyone else have anything?
Just thank you again, Coach Lucky. Thank you so much. Just thank you, as always. Just thank you. You're blessing my family. The awakening that you just mentioned to Miss Karen,
Yes.
as far as people being awake at different levels. A lot of these coaches and mentors, myself included, we are here to remind others of things we already know. And it may be in another life, maybe before we made it to planet Earth, we knew these things in our purpose. We just forgot, because we got all these distractions and things like that. So you are helping me. You're helping my little people Our family is grateful for you. They fight me at first, and then they're like, okay, cool, he cool, we like it. Okay, whatever. But I just want to send you flowers as often as you send us flowers. I want to send you flowers. Veronica, I didn't even know your name was Veronica. I thought your name was Vero. I was like, your mama named you Vero, supply name. Thank you, Goddess, for inviting me. As often as we are available, we will be here because this is so beneficial for our family. And I'm just grateful for everybody in this space. I think Gavin wants to add something.
The sun was very loud this morning.
Oh, okay. Hey man, listen, you know what? Starting tomorrow, I'm listening.
All right,
I'm
look,
listening.
I'm telling you, look, the thing is, I'm just saying,
Okay.
crisp noise.
Okay, what time you talking about? What time I need to listen?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You don't wake up to see it. It wakes you up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man, hey, you know what? I'm gonna fly you out, man. You're gonna be up here with me.
I got you. Look, I got you.
Man, that's what I'm talking about.
I got
I'm
you.
talking about. That's it. That's it, man. That's it. That's it. You're gonna retire your mom right now. That's it. We're gonna get you on the stage. You're gonna be the next Eric Thomas, boy. We're gonna get you out here.
When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
That's it. Everybody wants to be a lion, so it's time to do what lions do. Talk about it. That's it. That's it. Yes, sir. That's it. Awesome, brother. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I do want to also say thank you as well. I do appreciate, even though this is like my second time joining the classes, I what so far for the past week, like I've been hearing this my whole life. I've actually implemented some of these things into my lifestyle, but you brought clarity within the past 2 times that I sat in your class into what I was hearing from outside. Then the 2 shirts that I made, I wore I'm on a mental diet this week, and
Okay.
about 5 people asked me if they could have that shirt. I'm about to say, this is Coach Lucky shirts. He's selling it.
Oh man, no, you made it up. Shoot, hey man, sell that thing, sell it. Yeah.
I had 4 people like, wait, you're on a mental diet. And they're like, yeah, diet. I'm like, you don't know the meaning of the word diet? Like,
Nope.
it's not, you're not on a diet. It's how you eat and it's how you feed yourself. So I'm on a mental diet. How I feed my mind for this week and moving on is different. And they were just like, okay, I want a shirt. I'm like, $25.
There you go. There you go. There you go. And you know what? We're gonna give our boy one over there. So when he comes up here, he can have the shirt on, the mental diet shirt on. Man, I'm telling you, we're gonna put this all together, man. We're gonna make this whole situation jump off. Yeah. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. I gotta meet with Vero so we can make this a whole Shopify page.
That's it, man. I'm telling you. That's it.
Listen,
We're gonna be on here cracking. Yes. Yes.
we actually we started like playing around with merch, but I didn't continue. So
Oh yeah, I have a shirt coming out called Stop the Stupid. Yeah, Stop the Stupid, man. We're just gonna knock that off. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get this all. Yeah, it's all gonna be good in a minute. Don't worry about it. I'll be up here doing it. All right. That's it. Just stop the stupid, man. Knock it off. We gotta knock it off. And yeah, it's a whole bunch of stuff.
I'll be wearing that to school.
Man, stop. That's it. She called me stupid. No, I didn't. I just pointed. Just stop the stupid. Stop the stupid.
But is that what you believe of yourself?
That's it. Is this you? Is
He
this
said,
you?
whatever the shoe fit.
That's it. If this is your size, step on in, Cinderella. Step on in. But yeah, cool. Anything else? Anybody else wants to say before I let you guys get out of here?
Lucky, you bring clarity to the statement, when you know better, you do better.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, that's what we're all doing, right? That's why it's so fun, because I'm living it just like you.
Yes.
I may be talking the most, but I'm not Moses. Ain't no mountain over here, right? I'm up in here in the valley like everybody else. We're just learning. We're all growing together and supporting each other and learning. And I appreciate the opportunity to talk to everyone, to hear from everyone. And that's what we're doing. As we're learning better, we're able to do better, right? Focus, purpose, conscious, and we get better results, man. That's it.
Fabulous.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful. Okay. Anyone else? Anything else they want to say?
look, just for a prime example, this is what
Oh man.
look. I will say one more thing. Last
Okay.
thing. This is the last. This. I'm gonna give you an example. I recorded it for scientific reasons. I recorded what the sound sounds like, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you're hearing a once in a lifetime sound. Okay, only people.
But you said it comes up every day. What do you mean it's once in a lifetime?
Once in a lifetime. You can only certain people in this world can hear it. All right. So I'm saying once every blue moon, there's somebody that can hear it. Listen.
Well, play it. Come on, man. I want to hear it. What you got?
We can't hear it.
Oh yeah, I can hear it. I'm with you. I'm with you. You forget all these doubters, man. Don't let these haters hate on you. I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. That's right. Get these people,
It's
man.
so low. What's that? The sun coming up?
Yeah, see? That's right. Yes. He has recorded the
That's
sun coming.
exactly what we heard.
See? That's right. Don't let these people hate on you. That's it. That's it. My dude, man. That's cool. That is cool.
I love it.
So
I
glad
love
you're
it.
here. Yes. Yes.
Y'all, I had a baby. I had a baby 14 years ago. My twin. Yes, my twin.
All the
Yeah.
way. All the way.
Yes.
Sparkly
No, man,
energy.
thank you all so much for coming. Justin, it was good to see you on here too. I saw you and the family out somewhere doing something. So that was good to see you too. John, thank
It
you
was
for
good.
coming.
It was good to see you, Coach Lucky. Tapping in. Yeah, my son's birthday. He just turned 2, so we took him to an amusement park. So we're out here
Oh
doing
man,
that
happy
type of thing.
birthday. Hey man, you should have
Thank
went to the amusement park with virtual reality and saved your money. No, like that's the time of virtual reality. That's the time. Hey, you want to go do that?
That's the
Put
problem.
these on.
Everything too. Everything virtual now, but you can't get this experience virtually. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. That's sweet. That's super cool. That's super
Good to
cool.
see you guys. Good to see
Yes,
you,
good to
Coach
see
Lucky.
you.
Thanks for
Yes,
everything.
good to see you. That's it there. Yes, man. Awesome. Awesome. Well, good, you guys, man. Well, hey, I don't want to hold you too long. I appreciate all
Oh
of
yeah,
you.
Coach Lucky. Cynthia,
Yeah.
she passed her exam and everything. We're waiting on the real estate license now. So
That's right, the real estate
we're
educator.
rocking and rolling.
That's
yes,
it.
yes, sir.
One second,
Real
Yes,
estate
sir.
educator.
Just
Tell,
take
hey
on
man,
this.
tell her when I
sir.
call her for some advice, I expect free.
Yeah.
I expect
Hey,
free.
you already know.
That's right.
You already
24/7,
know.
I might call. 2 in the morning, Cynthia, I need some help. Mayday. That's it.
We got you, Coach.
Yeah, tell her
You and
congratulations.
Farrell,
Awesome.
we got y'all. All
Awesome.
right.
Play the
Yes.
baby some music.
All right. Hey, everyone. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Look forward already to next Saturday seeing you. Thank you all for coming. So many of you coming at 6:30. You know, that's the time, especially 6:30 to 7 for us to chop it up, talk, share good stuff, get support, ask questions, whatever. Thank you so much for that. So, you know, hopefully more of us will come even at 6:30, between that 6:30 to 7 hour to have that fellowship time, so to speak. Thank you all so much. It's such an honor and pleasure to talk to you guys and all that stuff. I look forward to Saturday more than you guys know. People in the house here know, but I'm up about 3 o'clock in the morning just pacing. So I am so excited, so honored and privileged to have you guys show up. So thank you all. Seriously, thank you all so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next weekend.
Bye, guys.
Saturday.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you all.